If you've been in Chicago at all this week, you would know that it has been brick, hyper brick, ice cold, frozen lake, steaming lake, hot springs, cold. If I even try to draw outside, my hand will be permanently frozen to the marker. Have to let it thaw out like an ice block. If you were here, you knew. And if you weren't, maybe you saw some stuff on the internet. I don't know. Today is part 2 of the Ping Tom series. I did the main section of Ping Tom Park back in the fall. Some leaves were still on the trees. Amazing place, incredibly relaxing, incredibly zen-like. Today I'm headed to the northern end of the park, the Ping Tom Pathway, the boardwalk. North end of the park, south side of the loop, an incredibly peaceful pathway that goes along the river. I'm working on red paper today to reflect the color of the main boardwalk area. I'm going to be working with white for the highlights, black for the lowlights and the line work. Then I'm going to be throwing in some silver for the super highlights, the reflections of the skyline. From this area of the park, there is an immaculate view of downtown. There are 2 incredible bridges over here on the left side of the image. Both of these are what they call bascule bridges. They're basically drawbridges, lift bridges, whatever you want to call them. In researching for this drawing, I realized that bascule is actually a French term for balancing scale. Both of these bridges have a big counterweight that allows them to hinge upward, lift quickly, and use fairly little energy. This style of bridge provides unlimited vertical clearance for any water traffic. Hinge completely out of the way. They put these here way back in the day when they straightened and widened the river a couple blocks upstream. 2 sets of tracks, 2 different railroad companies. They have nothing to do with each other, even though they look basically identical and are side by side. One of these bridges has actually been out of use since 2020. Since then, it's been locked in an upright position. It's always up. The last Ping Tom video that I did has a different bridge, the Canal Street Bridge, and it's what they call a vertical lift bridge. Even though it lifts super high up, it does cap out at some point. I didn't mean to get all bridge nerdy here on you, but all of the bridges that I mentioned are beautiful, iconic Chicago landmarks. The railings of this boardwalk have this elaborate metal work in it. I can't leave that out. The piece would be incomplete without that. Surrounded by foliage and rocks, details coming in too hot. I need to stop while I still can. Kind of a lot to think about for such a peaceful walk along the river. I'm gonna wrap this drawing up. Right now I feel like I'm teetering on the edge of too much detail overload. One of these days I'm gonna make it back outside, drawing in the streets for real. I still appreciate you watching. I got a new video coming every Thursday. I'm grateful for a little bit of your time and a little bit of your attention. I'm OJ, Juice Loops Live. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you next week. Thank you, bye. Yes. Am I turning into a bridge enthusiast?